for giving me the opportunity to be able to have the honor of swearing you in to this role and just share a few thoughts about the quality of this individual, of this public servant, of this leader, Jen Metzger. Now, as was noted yesterday, I was able to take the oath of office in Albany along with the Controller, the Attorney General, Tis James, and of course our first woman governor in the state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul. And as I looked out at the crowd, and it was a big crowd, the weight of the moment really settled in for me. And I was incredibly grateful. I almost felt just this sort of outpour from within of just gratitude for being able to be in this moment at this time. I imagine you're going to feel something similar just by the energy and the love that is in this room. It is electric, and I just hope that you continue, as was noted, to bottle it up, because it does get hard. This is not easy work. Anybody who thinks otherwise isn't really about the work. I think it takes people who are willing to make those sacrifices, whether it's with your family. I see your family here, John and kids. Good to see you all. You clap it up for them too. My wife, Lacey, an Ulster County native, would be very upset with me if I didn't make point to acknowledge the role of the family and how much it does day in and day out to support the servant out on the front line. So again, certainly appreciate that. But again, it's about soaking up the love and understanding the challenges that lay before you. And yes, you are going to be the first woman elected to lead Ulster County, which just so happens to coincide with the first woman governor leading the state of New York. And that's incredible. Let's not overlook that. That is incredible. You know, young people need to be able to look up and see all types of people from all walks of life in positions of power. Because if you don't, then power feels foreign to you. It doesn't feel relatable to you, and you feel detached from it. And the sad truth about that is, it actually is already in you from the very beginning, no matter how you look, with your race, your gender, your sexual orientation. And so when you have diverse leadership that emerges, it gives a lot of hope to make sure that everybody, every young child growing up, can identify that power from within. And that is how we fortify our democracy. By giving people objectives. But the amazing thing, and this was kind of alluded to earlier about Jen, is there's just something about her that makes you want to emote. Whenever I see it, it's the way she looks at you. She looks at you. Not past you, right? Not around you, but looks at you. Eye to eye. And you feel that, and that matters. And to have that in a leader, you have to be able to really be willing to look and listen. And she does that. She does that with a great level of dedication and commitment. And some public servants, or maybe it's better to call them politicians, can even do that, right? They can kind of get away with the look, maybe, or the smile. That can happen. Not easy to do, but I've seen it here and there. So you just can't count on that, as good as it is. And for you, it's amazing. I know it's true and it's genuine. But what makes you know that how she's looking at you is real and full of warmth and love is the work that she brings along with it. The County Executive, Metzger, and I, we came in together, and during our term, we both had to deal with the start of the pandemic. And it was during that time that I witnessed the kind of public servant and the kind of person she is. One who leads with compassion, one who leads with integrity, and one who has an incredible work ethic. Elected officials from all levels of government during that time had to work together and do so tirelessly to ensure that those we served had the resources they needed to stay alive. Whether that was unemployment benefits or stimulus checks or COVID tests or access to a meal, it took everyone to step up. And Jen was there every single step of the way, working tirelessly on behalf of her constituents, both on the ground and in Albany, advocating for desperately needed legislation. She listened to the needs of her constituents, understood how dire the situation truly was, and acted like the public servant that she is. And when you think about the work she does, at least from my vantage point, I don't really think about it from the standpoint of left and right. I just think about it from right and wrong, and how she leads from a place with a moral compass, with a moral compass. And that's what we need now. You can clap, yes, clap. I don't know about you, but I am just tired of people who talk and don't listen and don't work. Don't listen and don't work. And you think back to what Jen was able to do with her time. 33 bills, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. 37. See? 37. 37 bills signed into law. Into law. All passing with wide bipartisan support. All of them. All of them. So she's working and figuring out how to find common ground. We talk about the work she did on the Ag Committee and fighting for broadband. I know it personally, how dedicated she was to figuring out how to do what needed to be done. How to do what needed to be done. And figuring out the most timely, urgent way to get it done. Because that goes back to people believing in government. They have to feel the impact. You can chase a lot of things, and you can chase a lot of ideas, but you better, if you want the confidence of the people in our system, do what needs to get done. Jen does that, and she leads from the heart, and she wears that love of work on her sleeve. But I think that is incredible, because it's not easy to do that, to get up and wear your love while you do the work. But it's inspiring. It is inspiring. Now, I am no stranger, as noted, to serving this county and all the other counties in New York 19. And I got to see this not just from the perspective of a resident of my district in the neighboring county in Dutchess, but also as a public servant myself, working with, at the time, County Exec Pat Ryan, and working with the state body, and understanding the different quality that's required of people who care, and what it means for those communities when you have leaders who are forward-thinking, and who are innovative, and who are dynamic, and who know how to promote, and who speak truth, and don't make their business about misinformation and lies, but about truth. And that, again, is what we have. And I just want to help you all appreciate, to not take this for granted. Jen is a reflection of you. She's your best. You all decided to be your best, to put forth a leader that genuinely reflects who you are and will fight for you. And that doesn't mean she's going to do every single little thing you want her to do. That wouldn't be a leader. But what it does mean is she's going to give you every single bit of who she is. And she's going to fight for you and not put herself before you. And it should be an obvious thing. That shouldn't be the exception. That should be the rule. And so when you have the opportunity to lift up the exception with the hopes that we can make it the rule, we should. We should be grateful for that opportunity and celebrate. And I think that's where a lot of the excitement I sense in this room is coming from. I think there's a deep recognition beneath the surface of just how much this really means about who you are and what you've been able to accomplish in what is reflected in Jen Metzger. So appreciate what you've done and give Jen the space she needs to be who you know she is, a real leader that's going to do everything she can to improve every single person's life in this room and beyond. And you know I'm right. You're sitting here thinking he's right. And that's amazing. That's amazing. Believe me, it's amazing. It's amazing, right? I mean, this is not. Thank you. Let me just say this before I have the honor of administering the oath. One thing I also want to point out, Jen has been a leading voice for dealing with climate. She's not just been a horse. There's no doubt if you know her work, you know that she has a real passion for tackling climate change and for transitioning us and for leading in that way. And we're blessed, I think, when you think about Ulster County and all that it has to offer. I think it's incredibly fitting that the person who is at the helm of this county has that kind of passion when it comes to advancing the cause of dealing with climate change. I think it's a marriage made in heaven. So really can't wait to see what you can do with that passion to lead this fight against climate change. And I'm excited to work with you every single step of the way. So I just want to say in closing, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in a space where the folks in the room get it. The folks in the room understand the stakes, and the folks in the room have stepped up and identified someone in their midst who can truly be a leader and get things done on their behalf. And I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to be a part of this moment. And Jen, with that, I think it's time for you to come out.